Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. Whether you're watching us on your lunch break, late at night after a game, or tuning in while scrolling through the chaos that is NBA Twitter, we're glad you're here. Because today, we've got a situation that stirred up a whirlwind of emotions across the Lakers fan base. One that's made some fans panic, others furious, and a few, very few, still calmly optimistic. The Lakers dropped Game 1. And not just dropped it, they face-planted, fumbled, and got absolutely outworked in almost every facet of the game. And now people are asking, is this it? Is this the beginning of the end? Are the Lakers just not built for this? Or is this just the beginning of something far more compelling? Something that could flip the narrative entirely if they respond the right way? Because while Game 1 was bad, like really bad, it wasn't definitive. And if history has taught us anything, especially with teams led by LeBron James and, more recently, Luka Doncic, it's this: don't count them out after one game. But before we jump too far ahead, let's rewind and unpack exactly what happened. First off, yes, it was ugly. The Lakers were outscored in transition, out-rebounded on both ends, and out-hustled from tip-off to the final buzzer. Minnesota brought physicality, energy, and effort. The Lakers? Not so much. And you could see it in every single possession. The Timberwolves had 25 fast break points. Let me say that again, 25. That's not just a lot. That's a playoff backbreaker. And these weren't off turnovers or lazy passes. These were just effort plays. Minnesota ran harder, got back faster, and simply wanted it more. And if you're a Lakers fan, that stinks. Because energy and effort, that's supposed to be the bare minimum in the playoffs. But it wasn't just the running game. Minnesota dominated the glass, pulling down 11 offensive rebounds, many of them in key moments that crushed any semblance of momentum the Lakers tried to build. And it wasn't even the usual suspects doing the damage. It wasn't Rudy Gobert punishing you inside. It was Jaden McDaniels. It was Anthony Edwards. It was Dante DiVincenzo, guys who just straight up wanted it more. McDaniels, in particular, was everywhere, getting second-chance buckets, locking down defensively, and showing a motor that made the Lakers look flat-footed in comparison. And defensively, the Lakers were a mess. Overhelping on drives, slow to rotate, and constantly caught ball watching. The Timberwolves hit 21 threes, a number that's damning on its own. But dig deeper. According to Keith Smith, of those 21 threes, 27 of the attempts were considered wide open. Let that sink in. 0 were contested tightly. Not one. Now, some of that is just hot shooting. But most of it, it's scheme. It's discipline. Or more specifically, a lack of both. The Lakers were flying around like it was a preseason game, leaving corner shooters unaccounted for, miscommunicating switches, and just completely abandoning fundamentals. This wasn't just a Game 1 loss. This was a blueprint on what not to do in the playoffs. But here's the thing, if you're a glass-half-full kind of fan, there's a path forward. Because despite all that went wrong, the Lakers did find something that worked, attacking Rudy Gobert in space, especially with Luka Doncic leading the way. Luka torched Minnesota early, 16 points in the first quarter alone, most of them coming with Gobert switched onto him or trying to contain pick-and-roll actions. And Gobert, he was rattled. 3 fouls in 12 minutes and a plus-minus of 0 in the first half. If you're looking for a pressure point, that's it. So, could this be the Lakers' way back in? Could exploiting Gobert's foot speed in space, forcing him to defend downhill actions, be the wrinkle they lean on in Game 2? And let's not forget, this isn't the first time a LeBron-led team has stumbled out of the gate. Back in 2020, the Lakers lost Game 1 to Portland. People wrote them off. And then they rattled off 4 straight wins. In that same playoff run, they dropped Game 1 to Houston, and again, bounced back. Luka himself has a track record of struggling in Game 1s. He's 2-7 in opening games, yet has still won more than half of those series. So is this just another one of those moments? A slow start before the storm? That'll depend on adjustments. Offensively, the Lakers need to diversify. In Game 1, outside of the Luka pick-and-roll attack, their offense was stagnant. Poor spacing. Weak side action. Non-existent. Austin Reeves barely touched the ball in rhythm. LeBron wasn't used nearly enough as a primary playmaker. D'Angelo Russell faded into the background, and Raya Kimura, a player built for this kind of physical series, hardly got looks. Is it possible Darvin Ham is overcomplicating the scheme? Or is it simply execution? Either way, something's got to give. Because against a team like Minnesota, you need to force their defense to make decisions. Keep them guessing. And you don't do that by running one-dimensional sets or stacking 3 players on the same side of the floor with no off-ball movement. Defensively, the fix is clear. Discipline. No more overhelping. No more unnecessary rotations. Trust your individual matchups. Contest shots. And most importantly, talk. Too many breakdowns in Game 1 came from simple miscommunications. That's mental effort. That's focus. And you can bet the film room sessions since have been brutal. But what about the intangibles? The energy? The will? Well, let's just say LeBron and JJ Redick weren't exactly thrilled post-game. In their comments, they hammered home the basics: energy, effort, physicality. It wasn't just XS and OS. It was pride. And with the series far from over, the challenge now becomes psychological. Can this team respond? Can they come out in Game 2 and set a different tone, not just schematically, but spiritually? Because if they don't, if they go down 0-2 heading back to Minnesota, that's when things get scary. That's when the narrative really starts to spiral. But if they can punch back, make this 1-1, suddenly everything changes. The pressure shifts. The questions flip. And the doubt. It starts creeping into the other locker room. So here's the big question. Was Game 1 a wake-up call or a warning sign? But what do you think about all of this? Was this just one bad game, or are we seeing real cracks in this Lakers squad? Do you trust LeBron, Luka, and this coaching staff to make the right adjustments? Or are you starting to get that familiar playoff dread that comes with every postseason collapse? That starts with leadership. LeBron James can't afford to wait for the game to come to him anymore. At this stage of his career, he needs to impose his will early. Set the tone. Show this young Timberwolves squad that experience still matters. That championship DNA doesn't flinch. We've seen him do it before. He's dropped 40 in must-win games. He's carried rosters through adversity. But now more than ever, this team needs that version of LeBron to show up. Same goes for Luka. He can't just flash brilliance in spurts. He has to be relentless. The Timberwolves will adjust. They'll throw doubles, hedge harder, take away his favorite angles. So now the test becomes, can Luka adapt? Can he be patient when the shots are falling and lethal when they are? Can he control the pace, draw fouls, and make everyone else better in the process? That's what separates stars from superstars in May and June. And let's not overlook the bench. The Lakers' second unit got thoroughly outplayed. There was no spark, no momentum shift. In a game where the starters were gassed, that can't happen. Guys like Gabe Vincent, Jared Vanderbilt, and Christian would need to bring something: energy, shooting, defensive grit, something. Because if the Lakers have to lean on their stars for 40-plus minutes every night, this series won't last long. There's also the issue of confidence. Body language matters. And in Game 1, it was telling. You could see it on missed shots, broken plays, and even timeouts. Shoulders slumped. Heads down. That's not the Lakers brand. That's not a team that believes. And belief? That's half the battle. The great teams don't wait for things to go right. They make them go right. They fight through adversity with a swagger that says, we've been here before. And don't forget, momentum swings fast in the playoffs. One good quarter. One big run. One breakout game from an unexpected hero can change everything. Maybe it's Reeves catching fire. Maybe it's Rui bullying defenders in the paint. Or maybe it's a role player stepping into the spotlight and making the game-winning play. These are the moments that define playoff lore. And the Lakers? They're due for one. Darvin Ham, too, is under the microscope. This is where coaching matters most. Not in theory, not in film sessions, but in the fire of a must-win game. Does he stagger LeBron and Luka more to stabilize the offense? Does he trust his younger guys in critical minutes? Does he make the defensive adjustments needed to avoid another three-point avalanche? The answers to these questions might determine not just the series, but his standing moving forward. Let's talk about Minnesota again, because they deserve credit. This isn't a fluke. This isn't just a hot shooting night. The Wolves came in with a plan and executed it to perfection. They're young, hungry, and clearly unafraid of the moment. Anthony Edwards, in particular, looked like a player ready to make the leap. He wasn't just scoring, he was dictating, controlling tempo, picking his spots. He played like a star. And now the Lakers have to figure out how to slow that momentum without fouling or overcommitting. That might mean throwing different looks at him, zone schemes, box-and-ones, even a full-court press to disrupt rhythm. But more than that, it means accountability. No more easy drives. No more straight-line attacks to the rim. If Ant is going to beat you, make him earn it over a wall of defenders, not through a wide-open lane. But while we're throwing around blame and strategy, let's also acknowledge the moment. This is the playoffs. This is where reputations are made. And if this Lakers team wants to leave a legacy, wants to prove that this group wasn't just thrown together for headlines, they have to respond now. Not later. Not in Game 4. No. Because the truth is, they've been here before. Backed into a corner. Written off. Questioned. And time again, they've responded. That's what championship teams do. They don't sulk. They don't make excuses. They fight. And now, the fight has to start. You want to win in the playoffs? Start with the little things. Dive for loose balls. Set hard screens. Box out. Communicate. Win the effort plays. You can't control whether the shots fall, but you can control how hard you compete. And right now, the Lakers need to compete like their season depends on it, because it does. Game 2 isn't just a game. It's a statement. It's about pride. It's about sending a message that this series is far from over. That the Lakers aren't just going to roll over and die. They're going to dig in, fight back, and remind the world why they were considered contenders in the first place. And if they can do that, if they can rise to the occasion, and even this series, everything resets. Suddenly, it's a best of 5. Suddenly, the Wolves feel pressure. Suddenly, all that doubt creeping into Laker Nation fades just a little. And maybe, just maybe, this becomes one of those classic series we talk about for years. That's where playoff pedigree matters. The Lakers have been in this spot. Minnesota hasn't. And no matter how impressive that Game 1 performance was, they've never closed out a heavyweight like LeBron. They've never dealt with a superstar like Luka adjusting and coming back smarter, more deliberate, and more dangerous. Game 2 will test them in a whole new way. The Lakers coaching staff needs to use that to their advantage. Build a strategy around unpredictability. Switch up defensive coverages. Run more go screens. Throw in double drag sets to confuse Gobert. Make the Wolves think every single possession. Because right now, they're comfortable. You don't beat a comfortable team, you disrupt them. You make them second-guess everything they do well. And if that means going deeper into the bench rotation to find spark and intensity, so be it. Maybe it's Jackson Hayes giving you rim-running energy. Maybe it's Max Christie bringing perimeter defense. You're not looking for stars here, you're looking for fire starters. Guys who don't need the spotlight to change the temperature of the game. But at the end of the day, the stars have to shine. This is why you brought in Luka. This is why LeBron's legacy is built for the playoffs. And this is the moment where guys like Anthony Davis, yes, even while injured, need to make their presence felt. Whether it's on the bench as a leader or on the court protecting the paint, the Lakers can't afford any bystanders. Not now. You also have to wonder what kind of Luka we'll see in Game 2. He was brilliant early, but faded as the game wore on. Was that fatigue? Was it defensive pressure? Or was it a lack of offensive structure around him? Because make no mistake, if Luka is surrounded by shooters, if he's playing in rhythm, Minnesota doesn't have a clear answer for him. But he can't be a one-man show. He needs synergy. He needs movement. He needs guys cutting, screening, and spacing with purpose. And that's on the team, not just Luka. When he draws a double, guys have to move. The ball has to pop. The open man has to shoot without hesitation. That kind of chemistry, it can't be turned on and off. It has to be built, and built fast. That's what film sessions and practice reps are for. But when the lights are on, it's go time. Defensively, there's one word that should be written on every whiteboard in that locker room: accountability. Stop looking for help that isn't there. Guard your man. talk through screens, close out with your hands up, and above all compete. Defense isn't just strategy, it's wanta. And if the Lakers don't want it more in Game 2, they're going down 0-2. Simple as that. One adjustment to watch? Putting more length on Anthony Edwards. He feasted in Game 1 with a blend of strength and speed. But what happens if the Lakers put Vanderbilt or even LeBron on him full-time? What happens if they throw traps at half court and make someone else beat them? That's the chess game that could tilt this whole matchup. Then there's the question of rhythm shooters. The Wolves had far too many clean looks. Guys like Mike Conley and DiVincenzo aren't going to miss if you leave them wide open. The Lakers need to make life harder for those guys. Body them. Bump them off their spots. Make every shot feel contested, even if it's not. We also need to see a bounce back from D'Angelo Russell. He was a ghost in Game 1, and that can't happen again. Whether it's hitting open threes, running pick and rolls, or just staying aggressive, the Lakers need his scoring punch. Because when Russell is locked in, this offense humps. When he's not, it stagnates. And how about Austin Reeves? This kid has proven time and time again that he's not afraid of the moment. But the Lakers have to use him. Get him off screens. Put him in motion. Let him attack closeouts. Reeves can't just be a spot-up shooter. He's a secondary playmaker. Unlock him, and you unlock a whole new layer of this offense. One more thing to watch: tempo. The Lakers need to push the pace. Make Minnesota work. Force them to defend in transition before they get set. This team is at its best when it's flowing, not grinding through half-court sets with 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Let Luka and LeBron dictate the tempo, not Minnesota's defense. Personally, I'm choosing hope. I've seen LeBron bounce back too many times. I've seen Luka rise in the clutch. I believe in this team's ceiling, even if Game 1 showed us their floor. But man, they better come out swinging in Game 2. Because if they don't, this could spiral fast. And I don't want to be sitting here next week talking about what could have been. I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe to Lakers News Fan Report, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. We'll be here all postseason long, breaking down every moment, every adjustment, and every possible twist in this wild Lakers ride. Until next time, stay passionate, stay curious, and as always, let's go Lakers.